Welcome to the simple Starlight Billy guide in less than 10 minutes for Zenless Zone Zero, and let's get right into it. Let's start by talking about his mechanics. You can see Starlight Billy has a unique resource on the upper left bar. This is what we call determination, and you can store a maximum of 120 determination. Where you see that small line is on the bar, that's 100. And most of his mechanics revolve around building determination and then using determination. On the screen is how you get determination from most to least. And once determination is at 100 where the solid line is, you can basically hold basic and consume 100 determination to this amazing move that does a lot of damage. Also note, all of his attacks will heal some amount of HP as well due to his mechanics. He has a special mechanic revolving around 25% of his current HP. If you have above 25% HP, you get access to a special that increases critical damage by 90%. And this can also parry enemies. But if your HP is below 25%, Billy actually gets a 50% reduction in damage but can't use his special. So just take a note, you want to make sure that you have above 25% HP when you're entering the stun window. Note that he has two specials. One is the tap special, as you can see, and you will primarily be using this to parry attacks and build determination. His other special is his hold special, where he slams his bike down and does a lot more damage, but you typically want to save that for the stun window. So let's talk about his rotations. Just a big note, your combo is going to be significantly different if you don't have dial-in. With dial-in, it is much more comfy because you get extended stun window and an additional alt trigger. So if you really want to main Starlight Billy, you should really think about rolling for dial-in. Billy also has something that you should know about. Most of his damage is very backloaded. His whole basic right here, most of his damage comes from the back of that giant laser at the end. With his hold special, most of his damage comes from slamming down the bike. And with his ult, most damage comes from the end right here where he dive kicks. So you want to be very careful when you swap off Billy, because if you swap off too early, that means you're missing out on a lot of damage. There is not really a solid rotation of Billy, as it depends on the situation, which in itself makes it kinda complicated because you don't know what's best to do, but here are some simple things to look out for in some generic rotations. So outside the stun rotation, you really want to focus on parrying the enemy, doing perfect dodges, basic attacks, and such. Look at that parry and how much determination I just gained. And the perfect dodge right there, and basics. So the goal here is to build up determination and prep for the stun window. Let me show you a simple stun window combo with dial-in on the team. First of all, you want to make sure Lucia's buffs and dial-in's buffs are active, and then you want to hold basic with dial-in to activate Billy's ult when dial-in's resources are full. And then after this, you want to cancel over here into hold basic. And then here, you want to cancel again. You want to hold EX special twice, you'll slam his bike down twice like so, and then you want to end it with an ult over here. So basically you're getting two ults in, two EX hold specials in, and also a hold basic with 100 determination in. Let me show you a stun window rotation without dial-in. You want to hold basic with Billy, and then you want to swap in the drift with foe. And then you swap back into Billy, right? And then here, you basically want to hold EX special twice, slam the bike down twice, into the ult. As you can see, the stun window is very tight. You can see the stun window is very tight. So you really need to nail your timing down. And this is exactly why you should really think about pulling dial-in if you really want to main Starlight Billy. Now let's talk about his stats required and drive this. So one important stat to keep an eye on is crit rate, and you want to reach 68% on the stat page if you have his signature. Basically, the goal is to get 100% crit rate in combat, and then you want to be focusing on crit damage and then HP. For the drive disc, you want 4-piece Yunkui Tails and 2-piece Woodpecker Electro. But if you can't find enough crit rate without Woodpecker Electro, you can consider Branch and Blade Song. For piece 4, you want crit rate or crit damage. For piece 5, you want physical damage. And for piece 6, you want HP percentage. This is so that Billy has a bigger HP threshold to work with. Note that Pen does nothing for him as well because he's a rupture agent and it just bypasses defense anyway, so you don't really need the Pen stat at all. So as mentioned earlier, focus on getting 68% crit rate and then focus on and getting crit damage, and then as much HP as possible. Let's talk about his W engines. Of course, his signature is the best because it helps you meet the crit rate requirements and it really directly buffs his damage by quite a bit. If you have the Qingming Birdcage, that's also quite good. Or if you have Manato's Grill or Wisp, this is actually really good as well. But if you don't have any of those and you want an F2P thing that is craftable, that would be the Puzzle Sphere. Just note this is a lot less damage than the rest of the options. Now let's talk about teams. This is by far Billy's best in slot team. As mentioned earlier, Dial-In provides stun window extension, stun window extra damage, and an extra ult for Billy, and this literally changes the way he plays and how he feels. And then you have Lucia over here, who is the best support for Rupture agents at the moment. Any other team you use will feel significantly less fun to play, and you'll be doing a lot less damage. If you don't have Dial-In, you can use Fufu or Lycone, and if you don't have Lucia, you can use the Panda. And if you want to be extremely base, you can reunite the Sons of Caledons by putting the 2 champions on the team with Caesar. This is what I like to call the maximum aura farming team. I hope this Starlight Billy guide helped you, and all the best on your Billy pulls.